Hi everyone, my name is Kiel Angela Tiveroya and I am the one who was assigned to discuss to you the globalization and its effect to the tourism development. Globalization can be defined in a several ways, but there are one broad definition. It is a complex web social processes that intensify and expand worldwide economic, cultural, political, and technological exchanges and connection. Globalization can also be simply described as the movement of goods, ideas, values, and people all around the world. However, globalization has existed for centuries by way of involving a trade routes, including the colonization, slave trade, and the immigration. Today, we are divided into separate centuries, each looking out for its own national self-interest. At the same time, other entities such as multinational corporations cross borders, lead to global economic and political integration. Focusing on the tourism industry particular, the effect of globalization has had far-reaching consequences, which have been positive and negative. There is four other ways that globalization has affected to the tourism industry. Let's proceed first in the two positive way. The increased global mobility and the free flow of information. Let's proceed for the increased global mobility. Globalization has made it easier to travel the world. There are cheaper flights, interpreting companies are opening offices everywhere. There are international credit card companies across the world. And changing currency is easier and more convenient than doing any other thing in history. This has aided tourism in a big way. Free flow information. Globalization has made it easy for travel enthusiasts to discover hidden travel destinations and to learn about different cultures before making their traveling decision. There are more senior citizens in the developed countries today, and due to the increased circulation of information, this non-working population is making more international trips than ever before. There are two negative effects too. There are terrorism and culture erosion. Increased globalization comes with more negative too. Terror groups such as ISIS are able to send their terror message easily and faster thanks to social media. Deaths resulting from terrorism are also on the rise because globalization has made it easier for weapons and criminals to move freely between different countries. This hurt tourism in a big way. Culture erosion. The richness of a given culture determines whether or not visitors will be attached to it. But with globalization sweeping across continent, many people are losing their culture and adapting to foreign traditions. This is killing the tourism sector.
Hi, hello everyone. I am your second reporter, Mary Jo Biabarintos, and let's proceed to the impacts of globalization on the tourism and hospitality industry. Globalization and tourism are very dependent on each other. Thanks to globalization, people across the world can easily exchange ideas and values, whether they are political, environmental, technological, cultural, and economic settings. This exchange has enabled circulation of massive knowledge amongst the people of the world. People now understand each other better regardless of language, religion, or cultural differences, and this has boosted the tourism in a huge way. These changes may lead to different impacts. It could be beneficial or negative impacts. So here in my report, I will tackle the 4 benefits of globalization in terms of tourism and hospitality industry. So the first one benefit is the exposure to different cultures. Culture and tourism have a mutually beneficial relationship which can strengthen the attractiveness and competitiveness of the regions and countries. This has made it easier for the travelers to experience new cultures and has made it increasingly important for professionals in hospitality to understand and cater to different people. It gives the opportunity to have a new experiences and witness different cultures. By immersing ourselves in new cultures, we may encounter culture shock, but we also have a chance to learn new skills and learn more about ourselves. Advancement of technology. Technology has transformed the lives of many people based on the way it has changed their way of doing things. Hospitality and tourism industry is one of the sectors that have witnessed greater changes brought about by the advancement of technology. Example, many businesses can market their hospitality service and tourism products through the internet. They can share their views and opinions without having to meet physically. And also the people can able to access informations to the location they want to visit, spend their leisure time and holidays relaxing. This show how technology can contribute greatly to the success of this hospitality and tourism industry. The third benefit of globalization to the tourism and hospitality industry is the global mobility and the ease of travel. Ease of travel has also helped to overcome the barriers of fear, frustration, and expenses. For example, an international banking system allows access to money almost anywhere in the world. Multinational corporations which provides flight, local transportation, and accommodation and food have allowed for one-stop shopping for travel bookings. And lastly, the last benefit of globalization in the industry is the increased awareness of new destinations. Another influence of globalization on tourism is greater awareness of destination and the range of leisure activities, sites, cultures to visit around the world. Generating a knowledge of destination is obviously a key first step in marketing destination. And it is achieved by way of travel shows, vlogs, films, and other forms of communications. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Andre Mayamboy and let's proceed on the impacts of globalization on tourism and hospitality industry. The impacts of globalization on tourism and hospitality. Globalization as a process of economic, social, cultural, and political activities crosses national boundaries and affects tourism. Due to the faster transfer of information and increased networking activity that amplified the effect of globalization, owing to globalization, the world has become a global village, and these changes affect people both at local and global level. Globalization is in the focus of scientific debates, and according to Robert Stone, the theory of globalization is an analytical scheme which can serve as the basis for reflecting on and describing phenomena with supranational meaning. Globalization is the process of economic, social, cultural, and political activities that cross national boundaries. According to the same author, globalization is analyzed through many aspects: economic, geographical, ICT, universal values, global cultural industry, polycentric world politics, global poverty, global destruction, and transcultural conflict. In this section, we will look at tourism as global force for peace, for cultural homogenization, for commodifying cultures, and for shaping the way we see the world. Culture is reflected in the way people spend their time. In developed countries, there is a trend to spend more time for fun, which comes from the change in values reflected in the shift from materialism to self-actualization, from quantity to quality. Changes in character and structure of tourist demand are affected by changes in the value system and lifestyle. Striving for experiences encourages tourists to travel. For example, promotion of healthy lifestyle and food fosters ecological awareness noticeable in the balance and harmony with nature. Demand for a destination is very flexible with respect to political changes because drastic political events represent a threat for the most important health and lives. Given the political circumstances, some tourist destinations are perceived as less safe, so safe destinations become more attractive. On a global level and in the long run, wage rate will be equalized, which is known as factor price equalization. This creates opportunities for transition countries where globalization acts as creative destructive force that drives production factors and distributes them worldwide. While globalization favors certain actors of the global economy at one point, and there are obvious circumstances that create a changing situation due to the possible emergence of new global competitor in a different side of the world. Like most other countries, tourism is influenced by global competition.
Good day, everyone. I am Myrtle Joy P. Almares, and I'm with Ms. Diane Saplaya to report the trends in tourism and hospitality. Before I start, there are five aspects in trends in tourism and hospitality. There are the economic aspect, sociocultural aspect, environmental aspect, political aspect, and the technological aspect. So I am tasked to report the two aspects, which is this economic aspect and sociocultural aspect. This is the economic aspect. Economic aspect, tourists contribute sales, profits, jobs, tax revenues, and income in an area. The most direct effect occurs within the primary tourism sectors, lodging, restaurants, transportations, amusement, and retail trade. Thus, tourism and hospitality promotes economic growth and development by enhancing acquisition of foreign exchange, generating employment, and promoting development of infrastructure. There are positive and negative effects of economic aspect of tourism and hospitality. So first is positive effect is the job created, and the negative effect of that is jobs are often seasonal and are poorly paid. The second is more money for the country. Most money goes out of the area to big companies, not locals. Third is the local tradition and customs are kept alive because tourists enjoy traditional shows. And the negative effect of that is culture and traditions change as outsiders arrive. Sociocultural aspect, customers of the tourism and hospitality can be distinguished based on the number of characteristics. Generation and lifestyle have received increasing attention as predictors of sociocultural trend in the tourism and hospitality industry. So this is the seven sociocultural aspect of tourism and hospitality industries. So this is the trends relating to sociocultural aspect. So according to the to the year of birth, four major generations can be identified, namely veterans, baby boomers, Generation X, and Generation Y rather. A generation refers to a cohort individuals who were born and grew up with a particular set of years, with the same social and historical circumstances, and share similar life experience which differ from those born in other periods of time. And the baby boomers will continue to be the key generation in the tourism and hospitality market, but the younger generation, which is the Generation X and Generation Y, are also earning money, which enables them to travel by themselves.
Environmental aspect. Aspects of an organization's activities, products of services that change the environment either adversely or beneficially. They came up with the idea, the trend of responsible travel. In recent years, increasing attention has been focused on environmental conservation, including protecting and enhancing environmental sustainability among both travel professionals and tourists of the importance of responsible travel. The following different types of responsible travel have one thing in common, and they are all ethical based tourism. So, what do you mean by ethical based tourism? Ethical based tourism, it simply means keeping in mind the effects of one's action as a traveler on the environment and local community. Here's the example of common types of responsible travel. First, we have ecotourism, responsible travel to natural areas that conserves the environment and improves the welfare of local people. The next one is geotourism, tourism that sustains or enhances the geographical character of a place, its environment, heritage, aesthetics, and culture, and the well-being of its residents. Third, we have responsible tourism, tourism that maximizes the benefits to local communities, minimize negative social or environmental impacts, and helps local people conserve fragile cultures and the habitats or species. Fourth, we have sustainable tourism, tourism that takes full account of its current and future economic, social and environmental impacts, addressing the needs of visitors, the industry, the environment, and host communities. Lastly, we have ethical tourism. Tourism in a destination where ethical issues are the key driver. Example, social injustice, human rights, animal welfare, or the environment. The demand for responsible travel is being driven by the growth of conscientious travelers. It means their choices are increasingly influenced by sustainability considerations. Technological aspect. The rapid growth of tourism development has resulted to the need of providing prompt tourism services with high degree of customization and as well easy accessibility of travel information from customers' perspective. All these have driven to the application of information technology, which serves the role of facilitating tourism service integration in order to fit the needs of different individuals. So, they came up with the trends of technological applications in the accommodation sector, development of self-service technologies. So, self-service technologies or SST refer to technological interfaces or applications which enable customers to take a productive role when using services without the presence or support of the service staff. Here's the example of SST applied in accommodation sector. The first one are kiosks, available in many hotels which enable customers to perform various self-service functions. They provide a variety of concierge functions which allows multi-users to look for maps and directions to different attractions without the support of concierge staff. The next one is internet-based interfaces. Customers can get comprehensive and tangible information about the hotels by simply experiencing a virtual tour from the internet without physically visiting the hotel property. Room prices, special events, and promotional messages are updated automatically in real time by interfacing hotel websites with the reservation systems. And customers can easily make purchasing decisions with this updated information. The last one are mobile-based devices. Enables guests to use their mobile phones or devices such as their smartphones or portable notebooks to perform various functions including pre-check-in in their rooms before physically arrives to the hotel, reserve a table in a hotel's restaurant, or even order food by using the electronic menu provided in the application software. Political aspect, constantly influenced by developing consumer views and societal behavior. The world of politics is always adapting to keep viewer interest in mind. Many political personalities tend to discover and create a trend for people to know them more, especially in times like before election period, holidays, and on many important and special events that will gain them more attention. Here's the example of a political trend. First, we have political advertising or campaigns. Includes any advertising displays, newspaper ads, billboard signs, brochures, articles, tabloids, flyers, radio or television presentations, or other means of mass communication. In the years since new technologies have transformed the campaign media system and in the process altered ways in which campaigns are waged by candidates, reported on by the journalists, and experienced by voters. Voters look to new media as primary sources of information and participate in any campaign activities through digital platforms. A political ad is defined as any paid mass communication or advertisement that has the goal of influencing political debate and voters.